Hey guys, so we had a snap freeze spring in Edmonton, as you can see outside there. So I thought now would be a good time to talk about the diesel air heater I installed. As you can see, here's the controls. I just got some adhesive Velcro from Canadian Tire and installed the controls on the side there. Eventually I want to do the liner inside here, so it'll just stick to that anyways. If you're wondering what this is just LED lights in here for when we have the bed platform installed and we're camping and want to read or anything. So you can see there's one there, one over here, and there's a couple in the back as well, on the back of the roll bar here. All right, that off. Oh, and it's you can adjust the brightness as well. So we're just going to give this a minute to power up, and I'll show you how I installed my diesel air heater. So the fuel pump just kicked in for the heater. So it's going to start burning soon and blowing some air, and it's really loud at first until it gets up to temperature, and then it just quiets right down. I'm just going to remove the cover I made. This here's the back part of the bed frame I made, and then covered with automotive carpet that I got from Princess Auto. And I'll remove that and I'll show you guys how I did this. You can hear it really starting to fire up now. See, it's just a wood box. The carpet is glued and stapled in place. And I got two ports. This one here blows right out in the corner here, and another one that goes up top and blows it right across. A good mixture in here. In the front over here, you have the air intake, and it gets sucked into where the combustion chamber is, and that air is heated up and is blown out here. Now, for the combustion chamber, the air is actually taken in from down below, brought up, fuel mix, burned, and then it gets dumped outside the vehicle. And I'll show you how I did that in a minute. Underneath the frame, I cut a good wide circle around, and it has a metal plate mounted on top, so there's no worry about the wood catching fire. The exhaust, I wrapped with exhaust wrap. You can see there's the fuel line going in. The black line is the intake right over here for the combustion chamber, and it's not blocked. It has good, fresh, clean air being sucked in there. What I did is I used a step-down drill bit, and I think it's about an inch in diameter hole that goes through the wheel well there. And I just fed the exhaust line right down through the wheel well. Outside here in the wheel well, you can see everything's heating up and starting to melt. What I did is the exhaust line comes down, and then it comes down and around in the corner, and it's pretty close. It's up against the metal in there. It's actually hard mounted in the corner here, and then it comes down, and you can see the little muffler that it comes with, and I just screwed that right to the exhaust tip for the Jeep there, and it's pretty solid. It doesn't move. I did have to get an extension for the exhaust line, so I'll put that in the comments down below, the links for all this. Also, on the other side of this here, it's just plastic, so it will melt if you don't protect it. There's an adhesive heat shield that's good to 2,000 degrees, it says in the in the packaging it came with. And again, I'll put the link for that down below. And it was just 24 inch by 12 inch. You just cut it up, stick it onto the curves of the wheel well here. And then, yeah, then you install the wheel well back in place. And I've had zero problems. I've had this installed for almost a year now. I wasn't making videos at the time, so I wish I had. For the fuel system, I had to get a little creative on this one. So the third brake light, I had this is a different tire carrier. It's not a stock one because I had an oversized tire and it didn't fit on the stock one. It's a 35 inch. But what I did is I cut off the third brake light and I was able to mount the fuel tank, the diesel tank back here. I painted it black just so it blended in with the Jeep. It says 10 liters on it. It holds like 5 for some reason. Kind of weird, but yeah, works good. I have an aftermarket third brake light in here, just so you guys don't worry. Now, the fuel line for it. The fuel line runs down underneath inside the door, and I routed it. Comes out here, it follows all the wiring, the CB cable and all that, and inside here. From here, it goes behind the tail light, and that's where I have the diesel filter, the fuel pump, everything is mounted behind. You just take out the tail light, and there's tons of room in there. You can mount that in there. And then the fuel line comes out of there, and as you saw earlier, goes along underneath and up into the heater. This thing is pumping out some really good heat right now. I'm going to close the door and get it up to temperature so you can hear how loud it is when it's running normal. For the controller for the diesel air heater, this is the one that it came with. Little keychain remote control. And just your basic controller. Now, actually, my buddy Andrew helped me with this. He installed one of these in his Jeep as well, and found that the controller works great if you're standing, right beside the Jeep. It doesn't have much range. So he found one online, and he replaced his, and he ordered 2, and so gave me the other one. And the new remote, it comes with a new controller and a new remote. The controller is mounted inside the Jeep, but this one here, I can be in my house, turn on the heater, and it will tell me what temperature it's at and when it's running and everything. So it's good two-way remote. It'll tell me when it's running and what the temperature is, and I can adjust it from inside my house. Also, just in case you're wondering, I did run a test on how long it'll run for before it runs out of diesel. And when it does run out, it just shuts off, and you have to reprime it again. But it doesn't damage it or anything. It was minus 20 outside. I turned on the heater and just kept monitoring it. Every couple hours, come out and check it. Went to bed, got up the next day, still going, and it died. And I figured it ran probably about 36 hours. Minus 20 outside, I had it set to 20 degrees inside. And yeah, 36 hours is pretty happy with that, because when I do go camping, I'm not going to have it running full time. And yeah, if I do, I'll bring a jerry can. As you can hear, the pump has slowed down, and the exhaust is fairly quiet. It's just sitting here running, hardly noticeable. Oh, it's so warm in here. And that's it, with no cover on it or anything. Hardly hear it. You could definitely sleep comfortably with that running. On the other side, and I'll show you the controls. As you can see, it's running at a comfortable 20 degrees Celsius in here. You can see you got the little thing here saying the fan's running. pump's working. It's pumping, it's got air going in and air going out. Tells you everything's moving good. And it has power and it's got signal to the remote. I'm going to set the full bed up in here one day, and I'll do a video on that and how it was built. I would like to redo all the framing and make it out of aluminum or something. Also, when we're camping, I put in, I roll down the window and I have screens that go in across here. There's another video on making those. Well, I'm going to put this all back together and I'm going to shut it down. When you do shut it down, it still runs for a little bit and uses up the fuel that is inside of it, and then you'll hear the blower will kick in really loud and then it'll all just shut off. So you got the hole in the front here that has to loop around on the vent, on the intake. Seat belt has to go down inside here as well, beside the roll bar. Get that in there, make sure it goes inside the pipe. You actually get hot air coming out here. And up here, I gotta zap strap that back. Good. I'm just going to shut her down. There, it says off. You can hear the fan picking up. I'm not going to do a whole video on how to program the controls or anything like that. There's a few videos out there, pretty good. All right, it's shutting down. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it helps out and gives you guys some good ideas.